Today I just want to talk about the idea of what is God, what is the Goddess. Some people might wonder, do I believe in God? Well, to answer that question I have to give a certain complexity in my reply, as a shallow answer will not do the question any real justice. If you look at the ancient Egyptian concept of gods, essentially what you have is predominantly the male god is Ra or Horus, who is the sun. So it's almost a physical god, and it's certainly pantheistic, meaning certain parts of nature or the physical universe are deified or seen as deity. But the sun essentially is the male god in ancient Egyptian tradition, and the female deity or goddess is really the universe itself. Hence the Egyptians personified the goddess Nuit. They personified the universe as the goddess Nuit, who was the heavenly sphere, the celestial backdrop, the night sky with the stars shining forth. So we have a kind of yin-yang relationship, because when the sun, the male god, is in the sky and the sun is shining, you don't really see the backdrop of the celestial heavens. But when the male god, the sun, goes down, then you see the stellar phenomena of the heavens, the celestial sphere. So it's as if the male god has gone into the womb of the goddess night time, and then from that womb he is born forth in the morning as the rising sun. So what does this mean for people today? Essentially, you can look at the idea of a deity as something actually physical. I'm not saying it doesn't have a spiritual component. It does. I'll get to that in a moment. But I just want you to think of the idea of, rather than trying to work out whether God exists or doesn't exist, just look at the universe around you and decide if you can discover whether the universe and its physical elements have a reality. And if they exist, well, I think most people would say it does exist. So there is an immediate presence of the divine. If you see the universe, rather than just a mass of energy and molecules, see it as actually a living divine presence. That's how the ancient Egyptians saw it. This would also create a feeling of sacredness with regard to nature or with the universe. The benefits of this is, rather than seeing the universe as just really dead energy and matter that's floating in space, why not look at the whole thing, space, time, and the energy and matter that is within it, all as a living presence. Something more powerful than us, something that is beyond our total understanding, something that is beyond our control, and something which is infinitely large and infinitely small at the same time, if you realize it's made of infinitely small particles. So therefore we have something which fits the category of divinity, it fits the category of a god or goddess. So if we look at the idea of the universe itself as being the goddess, then, and the sun of course as being the god, can we take this idea of a god more close to home? Well, if the sun, our sun, is called Sol, S-O-L, does it not really also apply that we, as a little miniature universe, human beings, each human is a miniature universe, a microcosm in relation to the macrocosm? If each of us is a miniature universe, then do we not have a sun within us? Well, yes, we do. We call it a soul. And the word soul has the letter U in it, but it is really essentially the word Sol, meaning the sun, or name for the sun is Sol, with the letter U in it, soul. So Sol and soul appear to come from the same word root, and our soul is our inner light, our inner sun, and it can be compared to the outer sun or soul, and its relationship to first of all to the solar system, but also to the universe as we know it, because the sun is our understanding of the universe. It's our most immediate stellar body that we are in touch with and gives us life and sustenance. So in a sense, the male God is really the soul within. That's the God. This is the God of religion, really, if you're honest about it. It's not a God, it's not a man in the sky. It's the inner self, the soul within, the true self, which also in some more metaphysical programs and in the Hermetic teaching we call the higher self. So the higher self is really the God, the true God within. But that doesn't mean to say there isn't a goddess. Goddess is nature and the universe, the great womb of space, the great womb of all possibility. So if you look at it like that in these physical and physiological and even psychological terms, we don't need to ask questions like, does God exist? We know we exist and we know the universe exists. So there is an immediate, imminent understanding of divinity.